Hey guys, just sitting here resting. Me and Chris got on a bird this morning. Been working him since 7 o'clock and it's after 10 o'clock right now. And he finally got tired of us and went home for the hills, I guess. But thought we'd take a few minutes to sit here and tell you guys what we've been up to. I know it's been a while since we put a video out. Between work and weekend turkey hunting, we've had somewhat success and we had some close encounters, but we're fixing to lead you into that and kind of fill you guys in on what we've been up to this year, and hope you enjoy it. We've been trying to figure out what we wanted to do with some of this footage that we had when we didn't have any kills on it, but we're going to try to fill in this video we got here with some of that footage. And what you're going to be seeing right now is the footage from opening day. It was pretty cold that morning, but I got up, got ready, got out to the turkey woods, and kind of went in blind. I'm really not sure what I was going to do that morning. Got out and let out a few hoot owls. Man, I tell you what, he answered me back. He was probably about 150 yards away, so I knew I had a little bit to close the distance, and I still had a little bit of darkness there to kind of cover me up. But when I got down into the holler, I really couldn't pinpoint first where he was at, so I looked down on the ground. As I was walking in, I could see some turkey scratches, so I kind of set up in the bottom on the edge of a little creek. And I knew I was set up on the side that the turkey was on, but I really wasn't for sure how close I could get to him. I just didn't want to bump that bird, so I kind of panicked, I guess you'd say, a little bit, and I set up. And sure enough, right as it started breaking daylight, I started hearing some hens yelp, and they were right behind me and also right in between me and that gobbler. Then I knew I was in trouble. So what happened was that bird, he flew down, and he's probably about 75 to 80 yards from me, and I had my Tacticam on him, sitting there filming him the whole time as he was strutting back and forth, just praying to God that this bird would come up the edge of this creek to me. But lo and behold, a hen goes down there and hooks up with that bird, and I get to sit there and watch him breed her. Then I'm still kind of optimistic at what was going on, thinking, well, maybe if I keep talking to these birds, maybe they'll feed back my way, or that hen to get kind of angry at me and lead him back my way. But lo and behold, no, she took him, and her and the rest of those hens, they went over the ridge totally away from me. And me and Chris spent the rest of the morning trying to maneuver around and get in front of that bird, and we never was able to do that. But that one kind of got away from us that day. All right, well, my next close encounter of the turkey kind was, again, I get out of my truck and I'm walking down the road, except this time I went to a different direction, and made a hoot owl, and sure enough, I hear a gobble, except this gobbler's way back to my right, so I have to circle all the way back around. And I come to the end of a point, and I'm sitting there looking around trying to judge where I think this bird's at, and I could hear him when he was gobbling on the limb from where I was standing at. He was straight off of a point up on a hillside. So I thought, well, if I can get down and get kind of crest of that point as it comes down, where it kind of rolls over, maybe that bird will pitch over that bottom where he was at onto my point. I was trying to get to the highest point I could, because there's several times that I sat there and got off the side of a ridge on one side or the other, and the bird would get up on top of that point up there, then you're belly crawling up trying to get a shot on that bird. Well, I thought, well, that bird's gonna come right here. So I get set up on that point and I do some light tree yelps to him. And when I do, guys, there's a bird to my right gobbles, and they're both within 150 yards of me. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to sit right here on this point. If lo and behold, I done had this plan, that bird's gonna walk straight up this ridge point right here, and I'm gonna take him home with me. Worst case scenario, this bird here would come around to my side here and I'd get a shot on him. Well, I'm sitting here, got my gun up, and I'm ready in this direction right here. Well, I do a fly down, yelp, and I take my hat and, hit the ground with it, and boy, they're blowing the treetops out. So I'm sitting there, and I hear that bird pitch out of that tree in front of me. He hits that ridge bottom right in front of me down there, except he's just out of my line of sight. My line of sight was probably 35 yards in diameter. I thought, that's a pretty good, that bird sticks his head up, I'm gonna take it off. Well, I'm sitting there pointing in this direction, sitting there where I could hear that bird at, and I'm listening to this one gobble over here, except this gobbler's moving toward this gobbler. So I'm sitting here, and it's kind of hard to hear that morning. The wind's kind of blowing a little bit. The next time I hear this bird over here. He's gobbling over here, so I'm having to adjust, except at that time, the tree that I was sitting next to, there was a limb right here. So I couldn't roll around the tree, because you'd like to always keep the tree to your back right here to kind of hide your silhouette. So normally you don't scoot around the tree. But the whole time, guys, I was having to do this right here, and I was kind of getting off center as these birds was coming around. This bird ended up meeting up with this bird right here. So I'm sitting here with my gun like this the whole time, guys, getting ready for this shot, and they're right here. I'm talking about these birds are hot. They're blowing the damn leaves off the ground. Blah. So I'm sitting here the whole time just waiting, knowing I'm fixing to pick one out. And so I'm sitting here like this, guys. I cannot see these birds. I know they're about 50 yards from me at this point right here. And all I do, guys, is this right here. I readjust my finger. And when I did that right there, he started putting at me, and I still could not see that bird. I don't know how he saw that, but for some reason, I just barely moved my fingers, and you'll see in that footage right there where I just barely moved enough that it scared that bird, and he started putting at me. And at that point, I knew the hunt was over with, so I jumped up, was hoping to make me a Hail Mary shot. And all I did when I jumped up was one turkey was flying this way and one turkey was flying this way, and they was both out of range anyway. But how they saw me to this day, I don't know. But that just goes to show you how keen a bird's eyesight is. And like I said, the perfect scenario would have been if I could have just scooted around the tree instead of having to get off balance on the side of it and open up my silhouette. So I guess that's what that bird saw. He could see me from the side of this tree. And not to mention the sun was getting up on me. But that was another blowed hunt for me. But no matter what, that was a memory that I'll never forget. And to this day, I would probably go back in there and set up the exact same way, except this time I'll pick a different tree. The same morning I was on those two birds and had that finger encounter, Chris was down with a buddy of mine at his hunting camp, and they were doing some hunting down there. And Chris got him a really fine bird down there. The only problem was he had all the footage leading up to it, except before he could squeeze the trigger on that gun, and I hate to say this, but that Tacticam malfunctioned and the file got corrupted. So we still don't know to this day what happened to that, but he didn't get any footage of the kill shot, but he has footage leading up to it and the footage afterwards. But hey, that's the way it goes when you're trying to film. Sometimes it's hard to get that big camera out when you're running and gunning. A lot of times you want to use these small action cameras because it sure does make it a lot easier filming. You may not get the quality a lot of times, but sometimes I think that raw footage, in my opinion, when I'm watching a video, sometimes I think I'd rather watch that. And what we're going to do is show a little footage here of Chris after he had taken that nice bird. I believe that bird weighed 21, 22 pounds. Really not sure. Chris will put it at the bottom of the screen there for you guys to see. But he'll tell you all about that hunt. There's two right there. That's on the ground. Let's go.
Oh Lord, guys. Let's see how we gonna put this one into context. Come hunting with a buddy of mine, Mr. Danny Pettit. You'll see him in just a second. Still in kind of shock. Shit, man. Came and did a hunt with him last year, and by the time we was able to get down here with him, everything had done kind of shut up for a year. Last Sunday, me and him were scheduled to come down here and hunt together, and I ended up with a kidney stone. And anybody that's had them kidney stones know what that feels like. So got up here this morning with him. As you see from some of the earlier footage this morning, the whippoorwills, man, just, God. Come on, Dan. Come on, sit with me. Whippoorwills, man, just going crazy. Every bird was singing before daylight. How many did we have gobbling first thing this morning?
Well, we heard 4 right off this morning. We got on 3. We had 2 birds on a ridge across from us on the right, and 1 bird directly in front of us, but they all 3 got together and went the other way and shut up gobbling.
I guarantee they gobbled over 100 times.
Oh, they gobbled great this morning. And then we left that spot, and this is actually behind our campgrounds, our camp house. And I had my grandson on this bird last weekend, but we never could get him within range to shoot him, but old Chris got him today.
Old TSS reached out there and hit him in the head.
Knocked him for a loop.
It's crazy, guys. We literally, I mean, I'm telling you, we parked less than 100 yards from where I shot this bird at. We parked the truck down the hill, walked up on top of the hill. Me and him separated. We went probably 50, 75 yards apart, that way we could hear. He started calling over here, and I heard just one gobble, call, just right down the holler from us. He came over here. We started listening, didn't hear anything. He walked right back to where he was standing at, and he gobbled again. Then we get over here together. He gobbled one more time. Me and him said, okay, we need to set up on him. We walked, what, 50 yards down the hill right here?
About 50 yards down the road.
About 50 yards down the hill right here. Sat down. We just listened. Me and him we done agreed. No more calling. And I don't know, less than 2 minutes after sitting down.
It didn't take long.
Started hearing drumming, man. He was just spitting and drumming right down below us. Boom, 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 just doing it. And then I seen that old flash of red, man. And same time, me and Danny said to each other, hey, man, I see him. He come out in the middle of the road, puffed up all pretty like, and I ain't killed enough turkeys to give him time to sit there and put on a show for you. I'm kind of sorry about that, but I'm not sorry. So I let that old TSS sing at him, and that's what we got, man. Just a beautiful bird.
Show him hooks.
Beautiful Tuscaloosa bird, man. Golly,
this
dude.
part of the country is real hilly with a lot of rocks.
Man.
We don't get birds with hooks and sharp spurs. They're usually nubbed off. So that's unusual. That is a trophy.
That one right there, man, he got a good one on that side. And that one right there ain't nothing to be ashamed of. I don't know, man. Turkey hunting so hard. And being what you call, I guess, a weekend warrior, man, makes it so much harder, because a lot of times you figure a bird out, by the time you figure him out, you gotta go back to work. But we figured this one out pretty quick today.
Got it done.
Appreciate it, man.
You're welcome.
You don't know how much I appreciate this, dude.
Glad we got it happen this morning.
It's time for some turkey nuggets now, ain't it?
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if you guys had a chance or not. We actually made a video on this gun right here, this old Remington 870. As honestly, I was always hesitant about shooting one with a scope on it. And it didn't affect me a bit. I hammered the hell out of him.
He went straight down. He didn't even want to flop.
And last but not least, the following Sunday after Chris's hunt, after he took his bird, we came back up toward Marion County up here to a place that we hunt, and got in here and couldn't strike a bird at the first place, so we started running and gunning, and about our third stop we heard a bird gobble. So we was trying to make a maneuver on that bird and get around in front of him. The whole time he was cutting some ridge tops there, getting headed in a whole totally different direction. So we kind of had an idea of where he was going. So we kind of worked our way around and got on a real long logging road that it ends up at the base of a green field. So we took off in that direction and got in that green field and set up some decoys in that green field. I've never had much luck with decoys, but hey, we thought if we get down there, these birds are gonna come out in that road, and that road's probably 300 or 400 yards long. If they come out in that road, they're gonna see them decoys, and sure enough, they're gonna come down there. Well, guys, I couldn't ask for a better scenario. That, you know, we all want that turkey hunt to go the way it's supposed to, and this one did. It left me with a ton of memories that I'll never forget. Especially being with my son, hunting and taking this bird with him.
Hey, that dude's close. Yeah, yeah, big boy. Thank you, God. I love you, buddy. I love you.
A little bit about the hunt today. Got in here, so this is the lease that we have. Thankfully we have one because public land has been so tough to us this year. It's covered up people. And got in here, no birds gobbling off the roost, where we was listening from anyway. So probably an hour went by. We was doing driving, a little bit of listening, a little bit of hoot owl, a little bit of crow calling. Luckily we heard a faint gobble, and what we did was tried to locate where this bird was, and ended up being two birds. Both of them was probably close to 500 yards apart from each other, so we thought, well, we knew where a green spot was with a long road that you can see behind us, and we thought, well, heck, let's throw some decoys up on it and get in the woods and see what happens. And sure enough, it wasn't long, and we heard this bird right here hit the road down here, and you just had that feeling. I knew he was coming, but nothing's ever certain. And like I said, it's been a tough year this year that I was a nervous wreck. I didn't even know if I could pull the trigger or not, and I sure as heck wasn't gonna let him dance around out here too long. So when he got out here, and hopefully by the footage you'll be able to see, he come in half strut. We could hear him spitting and drumming coming down the road, man, and my heart was about to jump out of my chest. And the moment he cleared it, that number 5 eat him up. I really like him longbeard number 5. They do the job. But Chris, let's show them where we was at. That way people kind of get an idea. We were so afraid of being seen that I'm gonna take, you film me. I'm gonna go back there where I was sitting at, and well, we can show them.
Alright, I'm gonna walk towards him, guys. I don't know if you can still see him or not, but man, that moss elk obsession and them bottom laying pants, dude. Just, God, it looks so good, them pine trees.
Guys, don't set up right on the edge of the green field. Tuck yourself back in there. Believe me, I've been busted enough, I should know. I almost want to bury myself in the dirt sometimes, but thank God that I finally got one. And man, when I squeezed that trigger and that bird hit the ground, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's no better feeling than that, especially for your first bird of the year. And that was my first bird of the year. And man, after I got that bird, I tell you what, it kind of calms them nerves down a little bit. And I couldn't ask for a better hunt. Success is not always judged on whether you harvest the game that you went in after, but a lot of times on the memories that are made in the process. But when everything comes together, oh, how sweet it is. Thank you for watching Metal Neck Outdoors, and until next time, God bless.